Hello everybody and welcome to another video from Marella Travel. This one is the one we've all been waiting for. This is the video where we discuss the good points and the bad points of booking a cruise with Marella, or Chewy as they're known.
What should we start with? Should we start right from the beginning and go through the booking, the good and bad of booking?
Okay.
So, Dave, first of all, we normally book all our travel ourselves online, but we had a problem with finalising the booking. So what did we do?
Well, we did something we haven't done for a very long time, and we actually went to a travel agent, which I thought was a fantastic experience. When we got there, they offered us a cup of coffee, and they knew every answer to every question that we asked about that Marella cruise ship.
Yeah, there's just a member of staff that had been on the ship and was able to answer any question that we had. And also there were other benefits by going into the store. Firstly, we hadn't got a printer, and at some point down the line, you will need to print your labels out for your luggage. And what are the benefits?
So for me, I hate choosing seats on planes because I never know what's good and what's bad, but they knew what seats were great. So we managed to book early as well. They helped us get those booked in early, and we managed to choose the two at the back of the plane because they knew that they did recline. That was one of the questions. Did they recline? They did recline, and they knew that.
Yeah. So we would say the good thing is definitely we have built up a rapport with the staff at our local TUI, and we will definitely go in and use them again. And in conclusion,
Like Mike said, go to your travel agents. They know far more than trying to do it yourself over the internet. Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about the flight. So, Mike, let's start off with the negatives with the flight. What happened with the situation with us?
right, we almost missed our flight, and that was because when we got to the airport, I didn't expect there to be two flights to the same location with the same flight company, with TUI. So we only focused on the name of the place that we were going and not the flight number. And because the earlier flight was delayed, when they called that, it was about the time that our flight should have been called. So we went down to the gate and sat there for 10 minutes only to realise it wasn't our flight.
No, but we finally got onto our plane. So let's have a little look at what the positives were. For me,
Yeah.
I love the Dreamliner because all your drinks are free. So on the flight, whenever we wanted, the stewardesses would bring us drinks, and we were very well refreshed, let's say.
The only thing I would say, take a pen with you because
yeah.
we did have an immigration form to fill out. So don't forget your pen.
But again, though, great staff. They didn't have to, because obviously a lot of people didn't have pens, but they did provide for us. So thank you very much, Chewy.
Our flight was 3-hour delay, which wasn't good. And I think it is quite common that TUI flights are delayed. But when we got to the other end, we were rushed through the airport.
The immigration, yeah. And that goes the same. Sorry to quickly just jump in there. That's another benefit with booking through an agent. The fact that because it was a TUI flight and it was linked to the cruise, they couldn't leave without us. So what happened when we actually got there?
We were rushed through and put on coaches because obviously they wanted us to the ship as soon as possible. Beware, if you get to the other end, you are likely in for a hair-raising experience getting from their airport to the port. So, Dave, why don't you tell us what the embarkation was like?
Well, when we first got there, it was a little bit daunting because the queue was really long, but actually it went really fast.
I thought we were going to be there for ages, just waiting in that queue, but
No.
it was quick.
We had our documents ready. They saw the documents. They took our photographs for our IDs, and they put us straight onto that ship.
I will just say that they did say that we might need to show our travel insurance policy, but we did not have to show that.
Okay, so once we could finally get onto the ship, Mike, tell us a bit more about what happened.
Well, I thought it would be quite a long procedure to actually get our keys, and then I know that they like to do the muster first, but we had to make our way to the live lounge, and there was no queue. We were given our keys, and we were given the location of where we needed to go for our muster point. And you literally just go, see where it is, and then you're free to go back to your room. So I found the whole procedure really easy and really quick.
Good.
So that leads us on to the room. So what do you think we should let people know about the room?
Well, on first impressions, I thought the room looked very dated. When we walked into that room, I saw what only could be described to me as camp beds.
We were in an outside room, 3086. But yeah, the beds, they look like camp beds, but I have to say, we had no trouble sleeping on them for 2 weeks. It was really comfortable.
It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
And the plugs. My biggest
Yeah,
issue
PowerPoints.
is PowerPoints. When we go on a holiday, there needs to be enough PowerPoints. Mike needs his. I need mine. But there was enough, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was 2 American and 2 European, which we found ample for our use.
Yeah, and a lot of things these days they come with USB chat, so you
Yeah.
don't need a plug. You can just
No.
use USB, and all of the lamps on the wall and the side lamps have USB charging ports attached to them. So there's loads of PowerPoints for you to use,
which was really useful. And I suppose storage is quite important. And we were a little bit worried about where all our stuff was going to go, but we had no problem with storage, did we?
Well, we had a lot of stuff in our cases. Chewy give you quite a large amount of luggage. But to be fair, the wardrobe was ample enough as it was, but there was a lot of drawers with that as well.
Well, when we got there, I thought we'd be able to store our suitcases under the bed, but no, they wouldn't fit under the bed. But they fit in the wardrobe, no problem at all, along with, there was plenty of hangers, so we were able to hang all the clothes that we needed to. And the only downside, I would say, really, is there was no fridge.
Yeah, and also let's just quickly touch on the fact that when we got there, we hadn't asked, but we wanted to have 2 separate configurations of our beds. Yeah. That was so simple. We just quickly found the room attendants, told them about it, and within about 5 minutes, the configuration was changed to 2 separate single beds, which meant that you get a better access to the bathroom at night time if you've had a few jars.
And you also get a better view to look out that porthole, which was really low to the water, which quite surprised me.
Look, I want to quickly touch on bathroom because I know that a lot of people have an issue with the bathrooms on Chewy ships. So, Mike, tell us about what you thought the bathroom situation was like.
I was actually dreading the fact that it was a shower curtain. And, I'm quite a big chap. But I have to say, I did not find it an issue at all. It wasn't sticking to me all the time, and I found the size okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would hope when they are refurbed, they will put proper glass doors in, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, and let's quickly look at the amenities that they give you. They give you shower gel in there. You've got a sink, you've got the shower, you've got the toilet, and you've got a lot of storage in there as well. So, as far as I'm concerned, I thought the bathroom was fantastic.
Yeah, I think overall, with the room, I think we would both say that when we first walked in, it was, it's a bit dated. But after 2 weeks' use, I would say that it was not a problem. We enjoyed our stay in that room, and I think hopefully they will be refurbed soon.
So on our cruise, the first day for us was an at-sea day, which is also always quite daunting for people when they go cruising, like having that first at-sea day. But for us, it was great because it got to make us look around the ship and sort of see what was the thing. So what was your first impressions, Mick?
Well, I have to say, I mean, I know the ship is quite old, but it didn't appear like that. And when you first walk on the ship, one of the first things that you hit is the atrium. And the atrium is absolutely beautiful, I thought. And it did sort of take your breath away as you walk in. And it's lovely how you can look over from many of the floors above. So the atrium was definitely one of my favourite areas. And I absolutely loved the theatre. I thought the theatre was so comfortable. And what I loved is when you went in, they had drinks being served as you went through the entrance. So you could then take your drink to your seat. There was cup holders there, and the theatre itself I thought was absolutely beautiful. And I would pick one more area that I really, really loved, and that was the Restaurant 47 and also Gallery 47. It is quite spectacular. Sat in there looking at it's glass all down the side, and the views were absolutely lovely and a nice place to have your meal.
No, to be fair, I totally agree with Mike there. Gallery 47 was our favourite, but we'll mention restaurants in a bit.
Yeah, we'll come on to restaurants.
But weren't you fascinated with the outdoor cinema like I was? Because they've got on deck an outdoor cinema area. So if you are hot at night time, which we were because it was a very hot cruise, it was nice to just walk on the top deck and you could pull up a sun lounger and watch the cinema screen, or just stand on the balcony at the top and watch it as well. But they got popcorn available, so I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, it was lovely. It's not an experience we have very often, is it? An outdoor cinema.
But then talking about indoor areas, the Glass House, one of my favourites, because the Glass House is designed more like a spa. It's got an indoor pool with lovely sun loungers, very quiet, very relaxed, very zen. even with cabanas. And one thing that we found at the end of our cruise, there was a time when we had to leave our room and we had a couple of hours before we had to leave the ship. But we found those cabanas a lifesaver because it meant that we could put our luggage next to us, lounge, take advantage of the free drinks, and just totally relax before we leave.
Yeah.
But one last thing as well that I noticed is it's Discovery 2 is one of the only ships that I know of that has a men-only area when it comes to in their spa facilities. So they've got men-only showers, sauna, and sort of like gym area, which is really nice because it means that you can have a shower before you have to disembark the ship, or you can have a relax for free.
Definitely, it's a good tip. The glass house is a good place to locate yourself on that final day, because if you do need a shower or want a shower, then you can go and have one in the spa before you need to leave for the airport.
Definitely.
So yeah, really good tip.
Okay, so on Marella Cruise ships, you get a lot of option for food, and we found on our ship there were 7 different options for food, and we're going to start off by talking about the specialty restaurants on board.
Yeah, so shall we start with surf and turf? I think we paid £35.95 each, something like that. Yeah, and the question is, was it worth it? Now, I have to say that I think it was good for us to experience it. It's not cheap, so we did expect something special. Did you find it anything special?
Well, I did, but I didn't find it any more special than getting a steak in any other restaurant, to be quite honest.
Well, we found after we'd eaten at Surf and Turf, we didn't realise that Gallery 47 and 47 offer 2 different menus. We thought it was all the same menu. And it was only after a few days into the cruise that we discovered Gallery 47 was totally different. And that did become our favourite place to eat. And they did a steak as part of their menu there. I think they have a menu,
week, I think that was.
which changes every so often. But they do a steak on their menu, and it was every bit as good as Surf and Turf. And so I do think that it was a little bit too much to pay for what you got. Yes, the service was brilliant. Yes, the food was nice, but I don't think it was amazingly nice. So overall, would you pay that to eat there again?
I would do it again on the next cruise we do, because the next one is the Voyager. So I want to see how it compares to the Discovery 2. But for me, the steak was quite nice. Like I said before, it wasn't great, but I did enjoy Corallar, which is another specialty restaurant that was just opposite the steak restaurant.
And
so what do you think of that?
And they specialise in Asian cuisine, don't they?
They do. I think it's more like curries and stuff like that, but I think there's a bit of Pan-Asian going on there.
Right. I have a few issues with Corallar. We paid about $27.99, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but something like that to eat at Corallar. And again, the location is right on deck 11. It's a nice restaurant. Service again was first class, but I was a little bit disappointed with the food again. And also, if you remember that night, the air conditioning wasn't working.
Oh God, yes. So you imagine it's hot, you're eating spicy food. It wasn't a very comfortable experience. However, that was offset by the waiting staff. They were amazing. Yeah, they were so good.
The service in both of the specialty restaurants was first class. Yes, when we go on the Voyager, we are going to experience them again, just to see whether it's a better experience on the Voyager, and whether it's worth that extra payment. Personally, if I'd have known what we know now, I don't think we would have chosen to go to the specialty restaurants.
No, but there was one more, and now I've turned into a bit of a sushi fan. We didn't try this before, but it's a sushi restaurant, so we can't really comment on what that was like because
it is available.
It is available, and people say it's fantastic. So that will be down to you guys to try it when you go on. Okay, so that's specialty restaurants, but let's talk about non-specialty. So everybody knows on most cruise ships there's a buffet area, and ours was called Islands Buffet. Yep. I know that I loved it, but Mick, what did you think about Islands?
Right, I thought Islands was really good. We love breakfast. It's one of my favourite meals of the day. So we found that the Islands Buffet was our favourite place to go for breakfast. Plenty of choice, fruit, pastries, bread. There was what you'd expect to find in a full English breakfast. Loads of choice, different ways to have your eggs, poached, scrambled, fried. You could even get omelettes from the omelette station. Absolutely loads of choice, and lots of tea, coffee, and fruit juices.
Oh, can remember there was a station as well on the other side that served soft drinks, beer, wine.
Yeah, be aware that one side of one entrance, the drink station there only does tea, coffee, and fruit juices. But if you go to the other entrance, there is a much bigger drink station which does beer on tap, wine on tap, and soft drinks on tap, as well as the fruit juice and coffee. So look for that other side with more choice.
And a good tip as well that if you need to have a nice cold soft drink in the day and you don't want to queue at the bar, Arlen's is open virtually all the time. Just pop in and get yourself a nice cold Fanta or something like that from there as well.
Yeah, make sure you take your thermal flask
Yeah.
so that it stays cold.
But let's just keep on the subject of breakfast because a lot of people don't realise that on these cruise ships you can go to the main dining area, as was known as 47, and there they do a fantastic way to serve breakfast there. The reason why we chose islands was because we like to pile our plates as high as possible. But at the weighted section, you can choose off the menu from an array of different breakfasts. You can choose toast, coffee.
Yeah.
It's all weighted to you, almost like silver service, sort of, isn't it?
Yeah, in some ways it's a lot more relaxing than having to obviously up and get all your own stuff. There, your drinks and everything is brought to you. So if you just want to chill and take it easy, then maybe that's the best choice for you.
But then that leads us on to 47 as a restaurant because we found that 47 was the best place for us for lunch. We liked going there and we liked having our lunch there.
Yeah.
Probably more so than Islands. Islands got a bit busy for lunch. So we like to go to the weighted area and they have a menu again that changes every single day.
Yeah.
And it's the same with dinner. The menu will change every single day. So you can have sort of your weighted lunch and dinner there.
And I would say that by going to the same place, you build up a rapport with your waiting staff. And we found the waiting staff absolutely brilliant. We loved going in 47 and Gallery 47 because we always pick the same table. And I should just mention that another good tip, when you're on that first sea day or when you get the opportunity, go and look at the restaurant, find a table number. And when you go for a meal, ask for that table number. If, as I say, you like that table, you will get to know your waiting staff and they will get to know you because they knew how we liked our wine in the end, didn't they?
They did. And they were very attentive as well.
They were very, and good fun.
Yeah. So with 47 was the main dining area. We also found out that above 47, overlooking it almost such as a balcony, was Gallery 47, which is a very Italian-inspired restaurant. Again, non-speciality, but we found for ourselves that was probably the best restaurant we had on the whole cruise. Mike, tell us a bit more about that.
Well, I would say as well that firstly, the menu for that day is always displayed on a board outside the entrance, and it's obviously also on the Marella app, so you can look to see what the menu is before you turn up there. But it's I've said before, it's a really nice place to eat. Get to know your waiting staff because they will look after you, and they will just become so friendly that they'll ask what you've been up to and what you've been doing.
But remember, top tip, that steak we were on about is served at Gallery 47.
Yes.
So if you want to avoid the cost of the steakhouse, go to Gallery 47, find that steak. Trust me, it won't let you down.
Yeah, definitely. And should we talk about the glass house?
Oh, yes, the glass house. So the glass house was one of my favourites. The glass house is a pool area that is designed for adults only. However, it serves lunch and it serves an evening meal. Now, at evening meal time, was it a specialty evening meal time?
No.
It was like tapas, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't extra.
No, but for lunch, we found this very late in our cruise. It was one of the best places for lunch. They served pizza, rotisserie chicken, chips, pasta dishes, but most of all, they served toasted paninis and ciabattas. And oh my goodness, they were amazing. Nice. And not only that, they also served homemade coleslaw, which was to die for. And they served, what did they serve the best of?
Oh, my favourite, the carrot cake.
Oh, it's so nice.
I love a piece of carrot cake, and it was good.
It was really nice. But also, of course, if you're on the premium package there, you can get cans and stuff from the bar. So we found it quite a nice place to eat because it was a lot more luxury looking in there. We could sit by the window, look out at sea and have our lunch, which was fantastic. We can't really comment on the tapas for dinner because we didn't eat there. However, we do know people that did eat there and said it was fantastic.
What about the snack shack?
Ooh, the snack shack. Okay, so I'll tell you my experience on this. Mike's might be a little different. So I quite enjoyed the Snack Shack for what it was. It was basically a quick grab and go when it comes to pizzas, burgers, fried chicken, fish
So
and chips.
it's on the pool deck, so it
Yes.
is there for the convenience of people who love being around the pool all day. That you can just nip to the snack shack. There's little huts which are quite nice that you can have your meal in, but it's convenience. It's
Yeah,
quick food.
definitely. But you did have a problem with the fridges. Do you want to tell them about
Yeah, because you can get food like fish and chips, which was brilliant. You used to get burger and chips, and they are served. But there are also fridges there, a row of fridges, and they're supposed to contain things like your sandwiches. And we found that they were often empty, that it was very hard to actually find anything in the fridges. Now, I don't know whether that's because we went later and they were emptied, that once they've gone, they've gone. So I would say make sure you get there early if you're looking for sandwiches and things.
Yeah.
But I did find it was often empty, which was disappointing.
Can I quickly touch on something that wasn't really a restaurant, but it did have an element of eating, and that was the coffee port. Now, the reason why I mentioned the coffee port is because there's a tip coming now. So at the coffee port, you can buy coffee, obviously, but sweet treats like cakes, biscuits, that sort of stuff. But they also sell ice cream, and that is an extra on a Marella Cruise ship.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we found very early on that at lunchtime, I think for a couple of hours on the pool deck, someone comes out with an ice cream machine and you could get soft serve ice cream for free.
Yes.
So don't spend money on coffee pot ice cream. Get to the pool deck and buy
at a certain time in the afternoon. I think they did 2 flavours, didn't they? And it was like a Mr. Whippy ice.
It was lovely
as well.
Right, just to give a final overview on the food, I will say that we had a lot of people that were a little bit concerned about what the food was going to be like because they'd had very mixed reviews. And I have to say that we had 2 bad experiences where we couldn't eat what we were given. Both, unfortunately, were in the first 24 hours. So it was a little bit worrying for us that, oh my God, we're going to have 2 weeks of this. One was a chicken, which really shouldn't have been served to us. It was the end of the joint. And I think they should have changed it before they served. There was a lot of bones and gristle. Yeah. And the other thing, you tell them about your bad experience.
So, of course, my first day there, they served warm apple pie and vanilla ice cream on the menu. And I was like, yes, get in. So I had it served to me, and it was basically like a rock. It was like a block of rubber. It was inedible. It was dry. It wasn't nice at all. Fair play. I complained. Yeah. They took it away and gave me something different, but it wasn't great as a first impression.
And because we'd had those 2 experiences early on, we really were concerned about the rest of the cruise. But I think it must be said that you don't go on Marella for fine dining. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't expect a good standard of food. And I have to say, after that first 24 hours, once we found the places that we liked, we didn't have another experience of anything horrendous. I think you will find good and bad. But if you find bad, there are plenty of other places to go where you can have something else. And on the whole, we really enjoyed the food, didn't we?
I loved it. I loved the food there. It was fantastic.
So I would say, don't be concerned. Just go somewhere else if you have a bad experience. And don't worry if it's early on, because you will find the places that you will enjoy eating.
Okay, so the next one is a biggie, and that is obviously the drinks. So when people go on cruise ships, drinking tends to be the one thing they do a lot of. So it always is wise to weigh up whether it's good to do a drinks package or not. Mike's going to talk to you now about the differences. I think there's 2 options on a cruise ship.
Yeah, I think one of the things that Marella do really well is that they give you a really good free inclusive drinks package, or you can pay £70 per week in advance for their premium drinks package. If you buy the premium drinks package on board, then you will be spending £80 for the week. So if you do want the premium, we would definitely advise that you do it in advance. Now, we booked the premium, and I think we just thought, particularly for the cocktails, we love cocktails, so we thought we'd go through all the premium cocktails, and we thought for us it was the right thing to do. But now we've actually been on the cruise and done the premium, would you do it again?
No, is my easy answer for that. Because did we drink £140 worth of alcohol? No, we didn't.
No.
Our mission was to drink every cocktail on that menu. I don't even think we got halfway through it. And during the process, I found that I actually preferred the all-inclusive drinks to the premium drinks.
I really think that you do not need the premium drinks unless there is one brand that you can drink nothing else of but that brand. Because even if we'd have just bought, if I'd have fancied something that was on sort of the premium list only, then it wouldn't have cost me £70 to have a couple of those, you know,
No.
while I was on the cruise. So we are going cruising again with Marella, and on this occasion we are not going to go premium. So we will come back to you to let you know whether we regret not going premium, but I don't think there'll be any regrets. There is plenty of choice on their all-inclusive list.
Can I just quickly say though, there is one benefit to having a a premium package, and that is the coffee port. Because even though we don't mind about what brands we drink, and they get some really good brands on the all inclusive, such as Gordon's and Peroni and things like that. But the coffee port, we drink a lot of coffee. I'm not going to say we drink £70 worth of coffee per week. However, if you are a big coffee drinker and you like to drink quite a lot of nice and different style cocktails, then maybe it is for you. But for us, I think next time we're going to just go simple and keep it simple and try that more inclusive.
I mean, I do like my cup of coffee, and I think that was one of the reasons we went premium. But we didn't know, but we do now, that you can get a choice of coffees from any of the bars.
Yeah.
And that includes lattes,
cappuccinos, macchiatos,
mochas. So do you really need the premium package for the specialty coffees?
Not really. Can I just mention one thing as well, Mike, about
Yeah.
the alcohol? So Mike and I, we do like a drink, but when we have a cocktail, we like to taste the actual ingredients. We found that with Marella, they were very alcohol happy, and it just tasted of alcohol. There was no flavour to it at all. So
what I found was a good cocktail needs to be properly measured with the ingredients. And I just found they tipped them in the bottle, and I got us a drink, the same drink, and you ended up with double the amount of alcohol in it at the start than I did. So there was no consistency to them. And I think that was probably our biggest disappointment, was the standard of the cocktails.
But if you're like me, you like to find little ways out of these things. I found that I loved the mocktail menu. So I would tend to buy myself a mocktail strawberry daiquiri or whatever, and I would just get a shot of vodka and pop it in, just to alcoholify it up a bit.
And I will say that there were some disappointments to the premium package. Firstly, you get a 1.5 litre of bottle to your room every night, but there is no fridge and it is not cold. So we ended up with about 6 litres of water on the side, because on each of the floors there is a cold ice water machine. So we would say, take a thermal flask and fill it up there. You don't need that 1.5 litre of water. No. And the other thing that I found really disappointing, particularly if we were going off on a trip early, I like a soft drink. I like a can of Fanta or Coke. And they weren't available before 10 o'clock. I went to the coffee port about 9 and I said, oh, can I have a soft drink? And she said, oh, we don't serve them till 10. And I found that really frustrating, that you couldn't get a soft drink, a can, before 10 o'clock in the morning.
Can I mention one other negative? On one day we were going on an excursion, it was stupidly hot, and they, at the bottom of the deck when you're disembarking, with bottled water. Now, being on premium, you would have thought that those waters would be free, but unfortunately, regardless, you still had to pay for a small bottle of water, which didn't really make any sense considering you pay for the premium package.
And I will say as well that if you're a wine lover, we found the choice of wine. We thought there should have been a much bigger choice of wine on the premium package. So if you're a wine lover, it really isn't worth the premium for not much extra choice of wine. And I will just give one more tip. We managed to get hold of one of the booklets into the drink. We asked at 47 restaurant, and this is where we got one. But I think they are in quite short supply now. But if you haven't seen our video on drinks, into the drink, then take a look at it. All the prices of the drinks are in there, so you can weigh up whether premium is going to be worth it for you or not. The drinks are available on the Navigate app, but we did found that a bit more faff to look through than having it all available in a small book. So, Dave, let's talk about the entertainment on board. How did you find the entertainment?
I absolutely loved it. It depends what sort of entertainment you're into, really, because I mean, there's all sorts of aspects. There's the theatre,
Yeah,
you've got the pool deck with quizzes, you've got the Squid and Anchor that
yeah,
hosts a whole array of different
yeah.
things.
And of course, the live lounge, there's music
Yeah,
there. The atrium, they have music.
yeah,
But let's talk about the standard of the theatre.
okay.
I was really surprised. You know, I love the theatre, but the there was a different show every night, and it was mainly the show team. But on two nights, we had guest performers, and they were both comedians.
Yeah, they were. And to be fair, I said to Michael and when we were on the show, I don't know how they remember all these different acts because for 2 whole weeks we had different acts every single day. And they also did performances in the afternoon. They did at the Atrium Bar, they did the
Yeah,
acoustic set
yeah,
and the questions and answers. They do all sorts of different things like the musical
yeah,
tea.
yeah. Oh, yeah. There's music available. There's somebody to watch somewhere on the ship at all times of the day. And the theatre, they do two shows, one at 8:30 and one at 10:30. So whatever takes your fancy.
We were more the early goers, though, weren't we? Because we like to go
Yeah,
and watch Dem Boys afterwards, which was another band on ship that Mike absolutely loved. But they were you tend to be in the live lounge quite a lot and the Squid and Anchor.
yeah. And they also did the Sail Away.
Oh, yeah.
Dem Boys were absolutely fantastic and were my favourite performers on there. They just knew how to get a crowd going, and the lead singer was so he was so inspirational. He was just
He
you couldn't
was
help but like them.
He got
So
the party started, didn't he?
yeah, he knew how to get everybody going. But yeah, so the standard of theatre shows I thought was excellent. The shows lasted about an hour, but they were really good standard. I thought it was quite a small show team, about 12, 15 people, but they put on a good show. So we enjoyed it most nights, didn't we?
We did. So let's talk about another venue now. One of my favourite venues, the Squid and Anchor.
Oh, I love the Squid and Anchor. That's another nice place to go in the evening. After the theatre, we used to like going there and watching whoever was performing there.
But not only do bands perform there, that's where they do most of their quizzes. And of course,
And
we
karaoke.
Oh, and karaoke. And they did this thing, which I thought was fantastic, where you could do karaoke, but without a karaoke set, it was the live band. So you could sing karaoke
Oh, yeah.
with a live
With a
band
live
backing
band.
you, which was
How
fantastic.
good's that?
It was really, really good.
So next time, we didn't do it this time, but
No.
next time
Next time we will.
we're going to do it.
We might.
So look out because he's got a good voice. So
No.
I'm going to get him singing.
No. Okay, so that's the Squid and Anchor. What about
Yeah.
the live lounge? That was another place where we
The
had a lot of
live lounge, I
entertainment.
wasn't quite so keen on the live lounge. I don't know what it was. It was mainly a pianist in there, wasn't it? They had a pianist.
I think Dem Boys did do a couple of party sets
Yes,
in there.
yeah. I just didn't like the layout, and it was on the way to the theatre, so it was a bit of a throughfare for the theatre. So if you sat on one side, you had people constantly coming past you. So don't sit on the sides, get into the middle so that you're not having people walk by you spoiling your entertainment.
But of course, we must say as well that the live lounge offers something else, which is the casino. Is it called the live casino?
I'm not sure.
It's something, but the casino's in the live lounge as well. So if you're looking for that type of entertainment where you want to have a little flutter on, roulette or whatever like that, that's the place to go.
And I think they give lessons, don't they?
They do. They do like poker
Yeah.
master classes
Yeah.
and things like that as well. So you can do stuff there as well.
So overall, I would say the entertainment was first class and way, way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yes. What about the entertainment when it came to the Atrium Bar? Because they did the dance lessons there, and the dancers were there, weren't they?
Yeah, dancers were there. There was a meet the show team there the first night. I think they did that where you could go and meet the team that performed the shows and ask them any questions, and they also performed.
Okay, so if you're like me, you will get bored very easily. So I need a lot of things to do, hobbies and things like that. So one thing I was concerned with the cruise ship, especially quite a small cruise ship as Discovery 2 was what will there be enough on there for me to do? And Michael reassured me that there would be. And those things came in the form of pools. What else did we have?
We had mini golf.
Mini golf.
Yeah, which we really enjoyed. We'd have a game every day, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
And when the wind was high on the top deck, it was a lot more fun.
Climbing wall. We had climbing wall. I did that
Climbing
as well.
wall. You had to go to the climbing wall. You didn't get to the top though, did you?
I didn't because I'm afraid of heights. And of course, with the height of the ship and then the wall, it was very high.
Probably wasn't the wisest thing to try,
No,
though,
it
was it?
wasn't.
But every evening, one of my favourite things is cruise news. And in the cruise news, you will find a list of activities for the following day. And just as an example, You've got dance lessons, morning trivia, walk a mile, so you don't have to do it on your own. Mini golf tournament. There is all sorts of things going on during the day in the ship. Check out your cruise news.
Yes. The other big expense on a cruise ship tends to be Wi-Fi. Some cruise ships offer free Wi-Fi. Marella, unfortunately, doesn't. I know that we had quite a few issues with Wi-Fi on board.
Yeah, there are different packages available. We chose the 2-week, and I think it was £90 for the 2-week. I know it's not guaranteed to last you the 2 weeks, but that's what they recommend for you to have. So we took that package, and instead of lasting 2 weeks, it lasted me 12 hours.
And me not just much more than that.
No.
It was about half a day
No.
for myself.
And I will say we did no streaming, we did no sort of contacting family. It was literally just looking at a few websites and sending a few messages on WhatsApp. And that drained to the extent that it was gone in 12 hours. So we decided to go and complain. And fortunately, I stuck to my guns and we did get a refund. But I will never take a internet package out with Marella again. And I would say the best thing to do, wait till you get to a port.
Yeah.
The ports were pretty good, weren't they, at having internet?
Some of the ports were fantastic, really high speed. Some were not so good. Montego Bay, where you sort of embark and disembark, wasn't great. But places like Costa Rica, just had fantastic Wi-Fi.
Most places you could go online and do what you needed to do. So certainly, unless you feel that you're desperately going to need to have Wi-Fi on the ship, just be aware that it probably won't last as long as you expect. So seriously, think about whether you can manage until you get to a port. So after all of that, the big question is, would we book with Marella again? Dave?
Bit of a silly question, Mike, because yes, we're going on another cruise in November, which is the Voyager, and we're going to be doing the other side of the Caribbean this time. So my answer to that is hell yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think overall, let's just get some myths out the way. There is talk that Marella Cruises are like Benidorm at sea. We had no experience of that at all. We saw no other bad behaviour with passengers. We just saw people having a good time. And I have to say that we found people on this cruise really friendly. We chatted loads.
Yeah, we did. We made quite a lot of friends on this cruise ship because I feel like this is the sort of cruise ship that you go to make friends and to have experiences that you won't forget.
And just be relaxed and have fun. It's you don't have to overdress. You don't have to dress up in the evenings. You can be as smart or as casual as you like, really.
And let's not forget that the one thing about Marella that supersedes everyone else is the fact that it is all inclusive. And when we say all inclusive, we mean everything, apart from a few little extras, but your drinks and your food and the entertainment and all activities are free.
So definitely we would recommend Marella Cruises. We had a great time and we know many people that have echoed our thoughts, really. So, yeah.
So, yes, guys, just on a quick conclusion, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click on the like and subscribe button for further content. Michael?
And look out for we have a playlist with ample videos which go into more detail on the different sections available in the playlist. So take a look at those if you want to know more.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Take care.